When on occasion a product comes out that is so bad that it is a desecration to the legacy of the studio that made it, many out there move on once it has been destroyed in the marketplace, but we, of course, do not. Today we're going to take you to the remnants, the destruction, the absolute abyss that is poor Rocksteady, the once legendary game maker. Now, in a post-Suicide Squad world, they are being let go, downsized, and sent hurling into the unknown. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the place that changes hearts and minds simply by telling the truth each and every time. Folks, we are here to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. It's what we do, despite the kicking and screaming of the ultra-woken DEI acolytes of Hollywood. Today we're talking about the gaming industry and specifically Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Instead, it should be called Suicide Squad killed the Rocksteady, because that is the studio of a tremendous legacy which has been wiped out by the abysmal failure of this oh sweet baby work of not art. Let's bring on the panel and we'll tell you why you, perhaps, should be watching, as this could be going to even more studios in the future. Concord, yes, we're talking about you and your poor studio. Dustborn, hey, attention Dustborn. And Ubisoft, yeah, you got a bunch of stinkers on your hand. Ubi stinks, no doubt. Spencer, this is the story of Rocksteady, and Rocksteady has steadily destroyed themselves after Suicide Squad. Many out there, presume that we just want to talk about the negatives, but no, we're actually trying to save something beautiful. That is the industry, that are the careers of these people who do these things. The results of going so far out into divisive content is, for Rocksteady, a decimation now of their company and of the people who most need these careers and the money and the salaries that come along with it. Let me read this article that you've done for us, and then I'd like your take, if you could be so kind as to give us the author's opinion. Out of bounding into comics.com, Spencer McCooley, the author here, Rocksteady Studios begins cutting staff in response to failure of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. It seems like the people who made this game, oh sweet baby, maybe they were more apt to be called Suicide Squad based on their careers. The quality assurance team reportedly reduced by half. On Labor Day, that good old American holiday meant to appreciate workers nationwide and where nobody goes to Disney World. What did I say about that? If you're Rocksteady Studios, making sure some of them have no longer jobs, as according to a new report, the failure of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has led the developer to begin scaling back their operations. Per a report published by Eurogamer editor-in-chief Tom Phillips, who himself purportedly learned of the development from studio employees who spoke to him directly, Rocksteady has seen its size almost cut in half over 1 month, dropping from 33 team members to 15, with poor sales of Suicide Squad directly cited as a reason for its restructuring. Further, alongside the QA employees, the job cuts have also resulted in the loss of numerous junior staff, but also several team members employed at Rocksteady for more than 5 years. Those who remember what it was like to win. Spencer, elucidate more on this topic for us, please. What do you think the ramifications are for the industry as they watch people cut after they cut and ran with bad content?
So yeah, the big takeaway from this is that this is sort of, we all could have seen this coming with the immense failure of this game, where nobody's playing it. Nobody wants to even care about the DLC. Like, nobody talks about this game because nobody's playing it. I mean, more people played it than Concord, but that's a very, very, very low bar. Sort of going back to what we were talking about with Concord, though, Pro, I think what you mentioned, the video game industry crash of 2024, I think that's an actual thing we're living through right now. And a lot of it is because you see all these projects where studios invest millions over years, and once it comes out, people don't want it, right? And I think there used to be an era, like with the PlayStation 2, where studios could get together and they could make whatever they want. And if they released it and it failed, it hurt. But all you were losing was, obviously some money, but maybe like 2 or 3 years of dev time. After that, you could go, all right, what did we do wrong here? What can we improve? All right, let's make a better game. And that's when we get like really great sequels on stuff, Sonic Adventure 2 to Sonic Adventure 1, that sort of thing. Nowadays, nobody has that chance to sort of fail and learn, because the corporate end of it, all the people at the top, the CEOs, CFOs, they're banking on at all of these games and all of these productions being billion-dollar winners, right? I bring this fact up all the time, and I'm sure everybody who regularly watches the show is sick of hearing it. But Spider-Man 2, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, cost more to make as a video game than No Way Home. And No Way Home got them billions of dollars. And they're not seeing that sort of return on Marvel Spider-Man 2 because it cost them $100 million more and 4 extra years of dev time. So I really hope that, you know, we've been here before, folks, right? We've seen Marvel failures, Star Wars failures, and gone, if I were a smart business owner, this is what I would do. So I don't know the likelihood of anything changing, but realistically, what should happen is studios should step back and go, all right, let's breathe. Let's recalibrate. Let's, you know, trim the fat. We don't need 400 social media managers and QA developers. Let's, you know, focus that on actual dev team members, on actual people who are doing things. So bad news for Warner Brothers, but I think overall a good moment for players. And don't let anybody try to guilt you into saying, oh, you just want video games to fail, blah, blah, blah. No. This game was bad, and it deserves everything we give it.
Right, and the people that made it, I mean, you know, they trusted in the wrong people. They hired Sweet Baby Inc. This is the game that made Sweet Baby Inc. so well known in the video game sphere, and we can now see the adverse effect that Kim Belair and her cronies have on these studios, and the fact that they just keep tanking them over and over and over again. But they take, you know, Sweet Baby Inc. made all the money they had to make off this game, and then ran off cackling into the sunset. And they left behind, the studio is left behind to suffer and sink back into the earth. But this is not the Rocksteady that brought you the Arkham games. This is the ship of Theseus. You take away everyone that was involved with the Arkham games and still call it Rocksteady. Is it still the same Rocksteady? It's not the same thing. And the boy, was that ever on display.
Right, that's the problem that we keep having here is like Disney is not the same Disney that it was 100 years ago. Naturally, it's not the same Disney that it was 100 years ago, but it's probably not the same Disney it was even 10, 15 years ago. So this Rocksteady, I didn't the guys who were in charge of the Arkham games literally leave in the middle of this
that is something
cycle?
I wanted to bring up, is that while this game is a big failure from the studio altogether, don't forget that the two founders of Rocksteady greenlit this and were like, yeah, let's do it. And then they bounced. They said, we are out of here halfway through.
This was one of those moments where I think I realized halfway through, I looked at the concept, I looked at who was attached, and I thought, yes, I would say yes to this game. I would put money towards this because they're still selling the Batman games, like we brought up on the Concord part here. They were still selling all of those games. So why wouldn't we do a Suicide Squad game? And now we see they dug too deep to make a Tolkien reference here. They said, we're going to make this a live service. We're going to take for granted the audience who is very into this very gruff male character who goes around beating up criminals. And so they're going to lean hard into humor and modern day, and they'll just assume that the audience shows up, which we're seeing that mistake over and over again.
Let's lecture Batman for beating up mentally ill people throughout the course of the game, because that's what the player wants after spending 3 games with this Batman beating up all these insane asylum patients.
That's the thing that also gets brought up is why doesn't Bruce Wayne put some money into improving the city and maybe some broken windows?
Because that's not justice.
Instead of beating in the skulls of the deranged criminals.
Do you think a guy with a freeze ray is going to listen to your housing zoning limits? Get out of here.
Folks, we've come to the end, and it has been a grand time. Even when we talk about these issues that are no fun, even when we have to talk about failures, we still try to do it with a smile on our face, because we believe that lessons can be learned and that we can move on to a better future where we get away from the stink of suck. So how about that? Let's try that some more. And folks, if you have a good time listening and watching, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. We surely would love it if you would consider subscribing to our wonderful guests out there. Some of our panelists not on very often or their first time on the channel, and we know that you really enjoy those personalities. We try to get the very best, and we believe that we have. Very different, by the way, than what's going on at many of these gaming studios, where they're not hiring based on merit, Merit, folks, is all we know here. It's why we don't divide and conquer. We simply conquer. All right, until the next time, we hope that you will have a great time. Folks, keep learning, keep growing, and wherever you are, keep having fun.